No?
Okay.
This is Gunner Bill Lennox, 17th Battery, and we were sent over at night to support the infantry in wooden boats with canvas sides that were carried by 20 men. We paddled across the Cooston Canal in the middle of the night and proceeded up the bank and took over a house. And the Lincoln and Welland Regiment proceeded to dig foxholes all around us. And we took in about 30 prisoners that night. And I was in the house with my radio operator. And whenever they saw something coming, they would tell me, and I would call for counter-effective fire. And I kept them alive and well all night with my defensive fire. And in the morning, they brought in a Panzer tank, self-propelled tank, with an 88mm gun on it. And they drove us out of the house and out of the slit trenches onto the banks of the canal, which was 8 feet deep. We took shelter under the banks of the canal. And this tank was equipped with 3-foot wide tracks that could go through the swamp at 30 miles an hour. And while they were trying to build a bridge across the Cooston Canal, they had all the Sherman tanks lined up, one after another, and this 88mm gun put a shell through the first 2 tanks, killing everybody on board. And they were desperate to get the bridge in, and they couldn't as long as that 88mm gun was at large. So at that time we had at our command 4 rocket-firing Typhoons from the American Air Force. And I was ordered by radio to locate the coordinates of that tank, and it was continually moving. But he parked for a short while, and I was able to crawl up in one of the tracks that was about 1.5 feet deep. That's how deep he was sinking in the swamp. And I looked at him, and I took a compass bearing with my hand compass, and I estimated his position, his coordinates, and I phoned them back on my, I had a 18 set, number 18 radio set. It was a backpack you carried on your back with a long aerial. And I phoned back what I thought were the correct coordinates, and they sent 2 rocket-fire Typhoons down, and they appeared to come straight for me, which I was 100 yards from the tank. And at the last moment, they pulled up, released their rockets, and they blew that self-propelled gun to smithereens. And the concussion lifted me right up off the ground 2 feet. As I was laying in this. And as soon as that tank was destroyed, they proceeded to put the Bailey Bridge across, and we had our tanks across within a couple of hours.
Did they spot you in the antenna when you were crawling in there?
The day before, when we were on the banks, we were hiding. We were still on their side of the river. And there was just me and I think the radio operator, Lou Connick, was there, and me. And there was couple other soldiers there. I think one was a captain from another troop. And we kept getting hit with 88mm shells were skimming over the top of our position and cutting away the bank. And I wondered how they knew where we were. And here our aerial, we had a 6-foot aerial sticking up, and they could see it, and they knew we were there. So as soon as I realized what was happening, I pulled the aerial down, we moved over. And it was after that that I got the coordinates of that tank, because they were stupid enough to keep looking for us and sit there, you see, instead of keeping moving.
Oh.
But as a result, we got the Bailey Bridge in, we got our tanks over, and we retook that beachhead in no time. Because the prisoners that we were taking that night, the first night, some of them were 12-year-old lads, scared to death. And the guys in the foxholes from the Lincoln and Welland Regiment would grab them as they came across. They'd stumble into the slit trenches, and they'd grab them and push them under the window, and I'd grab them by the collar and pull them in through the window and search them for weapons, and then throw them down the basement. And I had 30 down there when we had to vacate the house because of this 88 millimeter gun, which was the finest gun in the world at the time. It could elevate and be used as anti-aircraft, or go down and use as an anti-tank, or as long-distance artillery.
Oh, okay.
Most versatile, accurate gun. And it had fixed ammunition, 4 feet long. The barrel of it was over 20 feet long, that gun. The best gun in the world.